Okay, this meeting is called to order. All right. I want to start off by doing a prayer. And we got a special prayer for one of our officers, Mr. Brian Holland. He's the assistant police chief. Apparently he's been hospitalized. Don't know that we want to tell all of his situation, but we just want to keep him in our prayers and wish him a speedy recovery. So let's pray. Everybody, bow your head. God, thank you for another day. Lord God, we love you. We thank you for all your many blessings, Lord God. Lord God, we ask special blessings on Mr. Brian Holland today, Lord God. Lord God, we ask you to heal him, give him a speedy recovery, Lord God, and continue to bless him and his family, Lord God. Lord God, continue to be with our police department as they protect this town, Lord God, as they go out and do the work that you call them to do, the dangerous work that you call them to do. Lord God, we ask you to continue to be with this town, Lord God. We ask you to continue to bring us together. Help us to see that we're not so different, Lord God. Help us to see that we all love you and that we want to do what's right in your sight. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right, let's have our roll call by our clerk.
Mayor Coy Creech.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Robin Connor.
Here.
Commissioner Doug Moore.
Present.
Commissioner Ronnie Walls.
Here.
Commissioner Eddie Locklear.
Here.
Commissioner Shavette Hill.
Present.
All right, let's move on to the adoption of the agendas, actually. Hopefully everybody got a chance to read the agendas. We had the special meeting minutes, and we also had a regular meeting on February 12th. So, but before we adopt the regular minutes, I've got a minor change when I was reading through it that I want to present to you guys. If you don't think it should be changed, then we'll leave it. If you look at the regular minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
before we get to the minutes, we gotta adopt the agenda.
Yes.
Number 3. Before you get to that.
Okay, so anyone want to make a motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Okay, second. All in favor? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the meeting minutes.
Number 4, Mayor.
I'm sorry.
Number 4. Number 4 on the agenda.
I did what?
Story minute officers.
Going to item number 4. So the minutes are items 6 and 7. Adoption of the agenda was 3. We'll go to 4, the swearing of the officers, and then 5.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Adoption, yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and go to the swearing in of the officer, Officer Queen. And so we'll have our own police chief, Lunsford, come up and do that. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We had a long workshop.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
We had some meetings today as well. So.
All right, we'll go ahead and start if that's okay, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
All right, so these are one of the more fun nights that we get to have. You can see there's a lot of family in the house, and this is one of the more fun, I guess, things that we get to do, and then swear in some new officers. So tonight we'll swear in Officer Queen and Officer Barron, excuse me. So we will start with Officer Queen. Good. Just repeat after me. I, Matthew Daniel Queen,
I, Matthew Daniel Queen,
accept the duties and responsibilities of the position of police officer for the town of Ranlo, and do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. I do solemnly swear that I will be alert and vigilant to enforce the criminal laws of the state of North Carolina, that I will not be influenced in any matter on account of personal bias or prejudice, and that I will faithfully and impartially execute the duties of my position as police officer according to the best of my skill and judgment.
I swear.
Congratulations.
sir.
All right, Mr. Mayor and Board, we get to do two tonight, which is just as exciting. So next up, we have Officer Hunter Barrett. We will repeat the process. Ready? I, Hunter Barrett,
I, Hunter Barrett,
accept the duties and responsibilities of the position of police officer of the town of Ranlo, and do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. And I do solemnly swear that I will be alert and vigilant to and enforce the criminal laws of the state of North Carolina, that I will not be influenced in any manner on account of personal bias or prejudice, that I will faithfully and impartially execute the duties of my office as police officer according to the best of my skill and judgment.
I swear.
Congratulations.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. I was moving ahead of myself. So let's have comments from the attendees. Let's start with Adam Stevens.
That's me.
Okay, Adam, can you state your name and address?
Yes, my name is Adam Stevens. I live at 2418 Williston Drive. I'm speaking on behalf of sister-in-law and brother-in-law's residents. Recently, there's been an ordinance been placed for a no parking ordinance for the street on Strawberry Lane, which is a dead-end road. This road is a curved road. It's one of the widest roads that we have in Ranlo. It's not your typical main drive, power park, where there's no parking. It's been like that for decades upon decades. I can't even visit my sister-in-law or brother-in-law if they're both home from work, because it's illegal to park on the street. We'd have to park in their yard because their garage has items that belong to them. Not everybody has an empty two-car garage that they can park their cars in. There are probably 4 to 5 other houses that I think are going to speak tonight. My sister-in-law is going to speak here right after me or right after someone else. I can just tell you that emotion is hard to keep out of frustrations that you have with something that you don't like. And when people get upset, they start raising Cain about something, and then they want to, present their case. We have an entire street of people that have kids that for 19 and a half years, I think you guys have lived there, and their kids didn't start driving until just recently. So now they have 2 other cars that they need to park legally, which typically you can park on the street beside your house. Now they can't. So they're forced to park in their yard because of maybe one other person on the street who decided that it's just too big of a hassle for them to slow down, look around, make sure that they're not flying around to the stop sign. It's a dead-end street. There's not a lot of traffic there. So it's either the people that live on the street or people that are coming to visit them who would be turning on the street. So I myself have a hard time seeing both sides of the story there. But I myself can keep emotion out of it and see that someone has gotten really frustrated and got hyper-focused on this to a point where they came in here several meetings back, got this ordinance passed for their street. It may have been overlooked, but I can tell you that anyone on the fire department, anyone in the police department, and anyone who lives on that street will tell you that any given time, unless it's a New Year's Eve where we have 10 cars that are lined around the corner, you can still see around that corner. You can still safely go there, stop, move on, and drive on. They might have a get-together once a year, if that. I don't think you had any get-togethers last year. But when teenagers can't even wash their car in the street, they can't even have friends come and visit if their parents are home from work, it's a little bit ridiculous. And recently, they had to have the police waste their time to come out because the neighbor on the street, won't throw names into it, but the person who is most vocal about this, that got this ordinance passed for the street, calls our police department to waste their time and come tell them the only way around this is you park in your yard and you have your friends and family shuttled to your house. Like I said, if I was to buy a house in Ranlo, buy it on the main street, I believe it's Ranlo, right through where the park is, I think it's Ranlo Avenue. So if I was to buy a house there, I would understand when I buy a house there, like, hey, I'm probably not gonna be able to have any get-togethers here, there's no parking, But you've been there 19 and a half years, it's one of the widest streets there is. There's never been a parking ordinance there. It's just a little ridiculous. So I'm asking tonight that after several other folks speak, that you just reconsider looking a little bit further into this. Discuss this with the fire department, discuss it with the police department, discuss it with the neighbors on the street. I can assure you, there's probably only one person out of, 10 or so houses on that street that has a problem with it. And maybe if that person would have a conversation with his neighbors, take the emotion out of it, they could come to an agreement and say, hey, we'll make sure that we keep an eye on how far we park down towards the stop sign. Ranlo police actually come out one time and told them, hey, if you park right here, you're good, as long as there's plenty of room to get over here and stop and be able to safely look. That wasn't enough for them. So that's all I have. Like I said, I just want you guys to think about this, that it doesn't just affect them living there and the folks that live in those houses, it actually affects everybody. And the more emotion that gets driven into this with this individual that lives on the road, the worse it's gonna get for everybody. Because as we all know, when people get upset, they get really obsessive over things, and it causes a lot of issues. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna state anything about that now. Let's hear from, Drew Horan. Horan.
The infamous name.
I'm gonna change my name one of these days, just Smith. I'm Drew Moran, I live at 1616 Allegheny Drive. Good evening. I just wanted to briefly speak in support of an idea that was discussed about last month about extending the sidewalks along Spencer Mountain Road all the way to the Spencer Mountain Trailhead that's being built. I think this is a really smart investment for the town. Spencer Mountain is one of the most unique natural assets we have in Ranlo. And improving the walkability to the trail makes the resource more accessible for residents who also who want to enjoy this asset, but also in reducing the traffic that's going to happen around the trail when we attract more visitors. It also connects nicely with the long-term vision of Spencer Mountain Road as becoming almost a Main Street type corridor for the town, where it improves walkability throughout that area. And we know from looking at other towns that when you increase the walkability from the residences of a town into a Main Street area, it supports the businesses that go into business there. It brings in more people who not only come for the trail, but will also support businesses that start to pop up in that area. And more importantly, it encourages the people of this community to actually get outside, to live an active, healthy lifestyle. And that's something that helps our town thrive, helps us all to be healthier, happier individuals. And so that's a positive step for Ranlo as well. I think this is a really good investment opportunity. And I would appreciate the board to consider in favor of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we already own that project.
May I, Mr. Mayor, just throw in just a quick comment?
Yeah, sure.
I know this section of the agenda is not meant to be a conversation. It never is, but there's a quick tidbit I can add. So every year the Congressman, Tim Moore, always gets projects from the district, and we get to submit basically 2 projects to see if we can get any congressional funding, and that's one of the ones that we submitted. So with any luck, we had some good letters of support from the Thread Trail and from the GBA. Hopefully we'll be considered for that to get congressional funding from that.
Thanks.
Yeah, so let's go to, Miss, is that April
Bradbury.
Bradbury?
Yes. Excuse me. Thank you. Really, I don't have much to say because, well, I live at 25 New Ridge Avenue, I'm April Bradbury, but my brother-in-law actually spoke a lot more on it. But I really just had a question on what was your thought process and what made you pass the no parking ordinance for our street. Another thing I wanted to do was, I kind of went by everyone's house and looked at y'all's parking situations. Some of our people on our road have swimming pools, and in the summer they're gonna have parties. My son graduates this year. I have another neighbor whose son graduates this year, we were told that when we have parties for them, that we'd have to get like, what was a permit for them. So, I mean, just pool parties in general. I have 2 neighbors that have pools. Are they supposed to get, those permits each year or each time they have a pool party? Or, I mean, just really, how do you guys park when you have people over? If you have a small area, where do they park? And just if you could think about how you would feel if you had to go pick your family members up or friends just to come over to visit. That's really all I have.
Can I speak first on that? This is
Sure, keep it short.
real short.
Pascal?
That's,
It's more, we don't have a discussion on an item that is not there, but if you just want to make one statement, not a discussion, you just can't let it be a discussion.
okay. That is a big issue here around, in all these neighborhoods. Parking is an issue. And I'll leave it at that. I understand. Every neighborhood is having that issue. There's no place to park.
Okay, well, I just want you guys to think about how you would feel if you had people come over and like you had, like how you would accommodate them. I mean, I feel like our cars being on the side of the road isn't an issue. I feel like it's the fact that they're just on the side of the road and they think it's an eyesore. But I think parking in my yard and it becoming a mess would be an even bigger eyesore and would kind of like a parking lot. So I just wanted you guys to maybe reconsider, the decision that you guys prior to made.
I want to make one more statement on that. I think we had that as an agenda item, but we tabled it, so we'll come back to it in another
Okay,
meeting.
thank you.
Okay? Yes. So your words are not in vain. Cindy Zimmerman?
Good evening. So I live at 1001 Strawberry Lane. This again is about parking. I 100% support emergency services. I've done it all my life. That was the comment I was given when an officer came to my house the other day because my son from Tennessee was parked on the street. And I told him, his reasoning was emergency services have to get through. And I asked him, did you have problems getting through? He went down, turned around, and came right back behind us. I understand that's important. I don't think it's an issue on that street. It is one of the widest streets. We do have a pool. We do have family. We spend most of our time outside. This is not just about parking. We get calls, or we get called on, and our police officers have to take time out of their day to come and tell us that we have to move branches. We keep our yard immaculate, and we do a lot of work. So if we can't have, stuff stacked on the road to be picked up without somebody calling, it's not even about parking, And so we are frustrated. I don't think that I'm not sure how it works. I work in the government, but I don't do a lot of this type. I don't understand how one person comes and says, after 19 years or 20 years of this street being there, hey, we need no parking. And then you have a sign at the end of the street that says no parking anytime. And I actually did point that out to the officer. I said, he's not parked down there. I do travel the streets in Ranlo for my job. I see that there are a lot of streets that say no parking on the street at any time. And I, in my county vehicle, move around them, typically without issue. It's my understanding if a vehicle is blocking access, our police officers can come out then and issue a citation. There's no need to have a no parking on the street when vehicles can clearly get through. If somebody's blocking the street to the point that they can't get through, I'm all for issuing a citation. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Hanson, please add that back to the agenda for the next meeting.
Let me do it.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, can you
Okay.
make that note?
Ms. Allison Wilson?
Hey, I'm Allison Wilson. I live at 1001 Strawberry Lane. I I am frustrated. And I'm frustrated for our neighbors, I'm frustrated for myself. I've lived there for 28 years, going on 29 years. And for most of that, anytime I do something in the yard, which you're more than welcome, all of you, come over and have a pool party. We take pride in our home, and it takes work vehicles and materials to get there. Jeff Moore calls the police every time. At one time, I even went up to the town manager and said, hey, I'm gonna have 3 pallets of stone put in the street tomorrow morning. I just want to okay it with you, and it will be gone by 5 p.m. that day. And he said, it was Jonathan at the time. He said, that's no problem, go ahead. You work hard, y'all's yard looks great. I came home to the police out there because Jeff Moore called. I think the issue is, and my neighbors, like April said, their kids are just now driving. They have 4 vehicles. They're not abusing anything. Who is abusing something is Jeff Moore. It's misuse of emergency management, and it's harassment of the neighbors. And we're all pretty sick of it, and we'd like to be supported in that. And that's the neighbors across the street from us. The neighbors across the street, 1,000 Strawberry Lane, their children are here to support it. They have 2 children that are driving as well. Like, I do not know the issue here. No one is doing anything but trying to live their lives peacefully on Strawberry Lane. And one person is stopping after that. So I just wish you guys would consider that.
Can I ask you just one question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all talked to him? What is his issue with you all? I mean, have you asked him what's the problem? Has anybody addressed him?
Can I speak?
Yes, can you, state your name and address again?
Okay.
So before.
Now state your name and address again.
April Bradbury at 2500 Ridge Avenue.
Okay.
So originally it started with my kid's basketball goal. I had to move it off the edge of the road, and it trickled into anything and everything they did after that. So this has been going on for 10 years, 15, I mean, I've been here for 20 years, this coming September.
Yeah.
So it's literally been anything that my children have done, and he has videoed, took pictures of them, I mean, the craziest stuff, to try to get, I don't know, he's harassed us forever. And this is like the last, like,
Is this
I
your
guess-
next door neighbor?
no, he's on down on the
Oh,
left,
down on the left.
into the cul-de-sac.
So he doesn't even live right beside you?
No, she lives beside me, and I'm on the corner. So yeah, it's just.
Yes, we had, my brother-in-law came to visit a couple years ago in a van. Okay, you know, vans can have a bad stigma. But they took pictures of that tag and called the police on that van, parked it in front of my house. And it was my brother-in-law visiting us. So again, it's misuse of emergency services, and he just needs to leave us alone. That's all I have to say.
All right, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to move on. I know you had something to say, sir, but hopefully you're on this list. Jamie Jones?
I'm on the list, yeah.
Okay, Jamie Jones,
Okay.
can you come up? Yes.
James Jones, 1004 Strawberry Lane. Again, thank you for letting us come and speak again. As to anybody trying to contact and have a conversation with the individual, I've been there over 20 years. My wife was born in this town. We rode through here 13 years until we could afford to build a house here. And even before that, I was participating with our church with the senior adults, supporting senior adults around me, coaching ball. So I got a lot vested in this town. It's not about me, it's about this ordinance. I've had issues with this individual the entire time I've lived here. Everything that, it started like Miss Bradbury, it started with our kids. He's a sad person. Y'all saw it last week. Just because I stood up to speak, the man lost his mind. We've dealt with it for 19 years, well, over, they 19, me over 21. 9 years ago, the same individual done the same thing on Wilmot because of one family. You can look, Wilmot Drive is on the list, and it was the same exact individual. And that night, it was voted on by the board that night with no town meeting, no public hearing, same way it was this time. 5 years ago yesterday, same individual brought up Strawberry Lane. It was on my Facebook memories yesterday that I had been at the meeting 5 years ago yesterday. He had brought it up, the board voted on it, and it failed that time, thankfully. So this is an ongoing problem with one person. Anything that is in his path of travel to his house, he wants to have control of. This time this ordinance was passed, this time it was passed from a complaint of one person, and there were questions posed that night to the fire chief and the town maintenance department director, had there ever been any safety issues? Both answers, no. So it was passed that night because of a complaint of one person. A squeaky wheel. Anybody that works on stuff knows you can oil the squeaky wheel several times, eventually figure out the bearings are bad. Anyway,
That's sad.
since that night, when he pitched such a fit, I have sold a vehicle. I have turned in my county vehicle, which I'm on call 24/7. Mr. Moore can attest to this. If a house hits a building, tree falls on a building, residence, I'm on call to go out and assess the danger of whether or not that needs to be shut down. Now, if I get that call, I have to drive to a location where that vehicle's at, pick it up, go to the emergency call. All this I've done on my own to try to make some more room. Because I have a son and a daughter who come to visit, and essentially, with your, I think it might be you, Ms. Thomas, that talked about the permits. I cut my own grass, but I have a young man that comes quarterly, 4 times a year. He comes weather permitted to do the maintenance, seeding, stuff. I can't get those permits because if it's raining the day I apply for a permit, he can't come. So if I do get 4 permits a year, that's 4 of my 5 for the year legally. If I say, according to my tax records, 3 months after the 2021 vote is when I spent $2,500 to widen my driveway because of this. So I mean, this is an ongoing thing, and it's all because of the squeaky wheel from one resident. So I would ask, whatever y'all do, I thank you for letting us talk about it. But just keep in mind the situation, how it came up. And it's not a safety issue. It is not. It is one person who's, I don't know how to put it. It's an ongoing issue. It has been for over 20 years. And it's all recorded. I mean, it's plain to see. But the thing that I'm beyond the aggravation. You know, I was mad for years, but I know who I'm dealing with now. I'm not mad. I'm just frustrated, and we just need to do something about it. But the way he went about it, the way the board appeased him that night, and I know most of y'all are not on the board then, or some of y'all are not, is it was kind of a slap in the face to the other residents, because this has been going on this time for 2 months, and you see there's nobody here in support of him and that band. He was the only one who has an issue with it. And there's every other resident on the street, like one of the residents said, we just want to pay our taxes and be left alone. You know, I mean, and the taxes, you know, we pay $5 extra for every vehicle we have. So, I mean, well, what are we getting for that vehicle tax? We got to park it in the driveway and make sure it don't live on the road. So, I just ask that you take all that into consideration and thank you for this call.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I
I think I remember this conversation either December or January, and I think a petition was proposed.
Well, okay, let me tell you why I didn't get a petition.
Okay.
The morning after I spoke, I got a text from the individual on my personal phone accusing me of representing the entire street and being buddies with the police, and why was I worried? Because they were all my buddies and it wouldn't be enforced anyway. My job is to review, enforce, sometimes help draft North Carolina state's codes and ordinances for my job. So I know how hard it is, and I would take it personally if one of my friends in this county called me and tried to get me to do something that was compromise my job. So believe me, I've been on the board before. I know what trouble they have. I would never, and I have never. You can ask anybody in town if they can say I've ever asked for a favor that as a friend. And that's why I didn't get a petition. I don't want nobody to say that I'm representing the street. I'm representing me. I told people about it. If they wanted to come, it's up to them. That's why I didn't get a petition.
Yeah, I think it's just, power in numbers. And so if
Well, like I say,
someone wants to do it,
you know,
I think
there are
it
people
will
who-
definitely help with the numbers.
Well, there's several, but it shouldn't take a petition because there's several people on the street who, I think, people don't want to get involved in the bickering. They just want to be left alone.
Right.
If everybody knows about it, if they had wanted to support the band, they would do it. So, but
It's really sad. You all have a beautiful street. Strawberry Lane is beautiful.
we try to keep our neighborhood up.
It's a nice street.
I'm sorry,
It really
guys,
is.
we're gonna have to move on. So we will, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cut you off, but we have to move on. We will definitely address it in the next
Can I say
meeting.
one other thing? Just one, I promise.
Sure, go ahead.
Ms. Hill, thank you for all your work in trying to get things where more people can get involved.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. And I'm not wanting to cut you off, but we do have other business to take care of tonight.
But you said it's going on the agenda for next month.
Yes,
To make
absolutely.
decisions on.
Yes, we made to discuss a resolution, possible resolution.
It's whatever the board wants me to put on the agenda, or the mayor wants me to put on the agenda. If you just want me to put in, and if I'm mistaken, so if you're gonna put maybe an old business, just revisit the discussion. And then if the appetite of the board has either remained consistent or changed, that can be decided during that plan. Fair.
Does the people need to be back here, or?
It's not required for it to be, but if you would like to, it's your discretion. If you'd like to hear more about it during but they would not be able to talk during the discussion item, just during the public comment period.
I think they've, stretched around, told everything, discussed everything. I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, so, how do you guys want to work this? Because we do want to put that back on the agenda, and we want to address it in the proper manner.
So where we left off last time was an instruction for staff to draft the ordinance to say no parking on Strawberry Lane. That was prepared, that was sent to you all, we tabled it. So if you want to bring that back up to decide to vote against the ordinance or to vote for the ordinance, that can be what is on the agenda.
Okay.
We got that big one. Yeah, you got that
I'm
big
going to
one.
put that on the agenda. All right, I need to go get my coffee.
You want some of mine?
I'm tempted, for sure. But let's go ahead and go to the, adoption,
Is that
old
everyone?
business. Yeah, I think that's some of the next one. Go ahead, sorry. Yes.
Was anyone on those?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did miss somebody. Tasha White, is she here? Tasha White, are you here? Okay, maybe, I know it's a question mark, so maybe not, you're not here. So, yeah, that's everybody on the list. I don't think I missed anybody. Yeah. If I missed you, please raise your hand, because
call all these names. Okay, all right, so let's,
I think we have one.
I didn't put my name on the list, but, I know I missed the committee meeting last time. Would this be the time to?
You can.
Okay. All right, yes, can you come up and state your name and address?
My name is Kelsey Lynch. I live at 1701 Spencer Mountain Road. I put in my application that I'd be interested in any of the 3 committees. So if there's room on any of them, I'm happy to help out. But I'm particularly interested in the resources committee. I've always been passionate about helping people, and I think lending a hand in the community, the place where I live, call home, is very important. As far as the planning and development side, I'm a civil engineer for work. I've done a lot of site development and currently work in water, wastewater design. So might be able to lend a hand to some extent on that route. As far as events, going a little ways back, I was involved in a lot of organizations in school that involved planning things. Again, it would probably be more just lending some ideas or a helping hand here or there for setup and things like that. I'm also new to Ranlo. This is my first full month here, I think. So as far as common events or things that the community wants, I would almost want to yield to the people who live here or have lived here longer, just learn a little bit on that front. But always happy to lend a hand. I know things for the resources were mentioned, like doing a garden. I think it would be a fun idea to maybe do like a lending library, or if different things like little 5Ks, or, you know, I don't know, maybe some community barbecues or things like that, but just, and things to help bring the community together, and just happy to lend a hand wherever I can, so.
So, I know we have a slide on the Ranlo experience and the resource. Which one would you be most passionate about?
Probably resource.
Yeah, because right now the planning board is filled.
Yes, like
Yeah.
7 people there.
Yes.
But yeah, we'd love to have you.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Let me say something, not to you, but to the mayor. I was approached today at the hospital of a lady that applied online, but she couldn't make it here that night. Her name's Carrie Howard,
Is that like CAR?
C-A-R-R-I-E. And I think she put down for the Ranlo experience, not Ranlo resource.
Okay. Yeah, let's have her come in and speak. But okay, thank you.
Thank you, yes.
I would like to make a motion to include, is it Chelsea? Kelsey.
I'll second.
I would like to appoint Kelsey Lynch. Yes. On the Ranlo Resource Network Committee.
Okay?
Then I would like to,
All in, what did you?
okay, well, all in favor.
All in favor?
But, hold on, we need a second for the motion.
Second.
I thought someone gave us
Right.
that, yeah. All in favor? It's you, okay, that's unanimous. All right, now, your
And
motion.
I would like to appoint Carrie Howard to
Okay.
resource, Ranlo resource
Okay.
committee. I make a motion, yes.
Motion, second motion, all in favor? Okay, I think that was unanimous. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, may I just real quick?
Yeah.
Both of those were Ranlo Resource Network or one with the
Yes.
experience? Both were, so if, correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Clerk, that's 7 of 7 for the Ranlo Resource Network, that committee is now. Oh, yeah, very cool. Just make sure everybody knew that.
Tell me your name.
Yeah, resource committee.
We had one more that wanted to speak.
Sorry, I've been cooking, so I'm looking at
Okay.
My name is Tammy Love. I stay at 299 Ranlo Avenue. And I put in for zoning, I put in for events, I put in for just about everything because I do everything. I run
Did you
my
say your name one more time?
Tammy Love, T-A-M-M-I. Last name Love, like I love. And I do a lot of things, like on my job, I plan our events as far as employee appreciation, and I plan Christmas parties. I plan, like, we do Green Out the Movies, I plan all that. Any resources and things that we need, like, once we had people that was at work, I helped create a full resource packet of all the resources that was available, not just in Gaston County, but Mecklenburg County and Cleveland County, and set that up to where, put it on a PowerPoint, so that they can go into it and get whatever help they need. I also called multiple places to see, okay, give them different scenarios to see what would it take for them to get the resources that they need, the help that they need, so they wouldn't go into it blind. So, you know, when you're in need, you don't want to show up at a place and they tell you, well, you got to do X, Y, and Z before you can get it. So I didn't want my people to go in blind. So I'm kind of good at helping out. I just have a gift of service. So right now, on my job, we're getting ready to build something, and I'm working with the zoning. I'm helping find the general contractors, and I'm writing the checks. I'm doing pretty much everything. So I can kind of do whatever. You set it in front of me, I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm really interested in zoning because I would like to see Ranlo grow, but keep that small town feel, because that's the main reason why I moved here. And I don't want to see overgrown, but I would like to see it move out of Ames.
Where do you work? I'm sorry, if that's a question.
I am not secretary for UAW.
For
UAW.
UAW.
Yes.
Really, which one?
No.
You got another work?
Yes.
Okay. Good coverage.
Yes. And it's,
All right.
Thank you.
So which committee were you passionate about?
Well, it's
I'm
only
so
one.
sorry.
That was the
Because
plan.
I think,
Was it the plan?
yeah, the zoning board, I think is full.
Was it the
And
plan?
the resource.
Only one left is Ranlo experience.
That one is available.
okay.
So which one?
Experience.
Experience?
I nominate Tamula for Ranlo experience.
I'll say.
Point.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. I think that's unanimous since yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you guys. Actually, thank you, that was great. Okay, now can we move? We're gonna move on to the next item. Adoption of the February 12th regular minutes of the board. I had one minor change on that note. We talked about, let me go to it real quick. Actually, that might have been on the special minutes, so maybe I'll make my change when I get to that one. Yeah, that was on the special minutes. So,
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
okay, all in favor? All right, so let's go to the special minutes. Adoption of the special minutes. So if you guys go to the first page where it says discussion of the new public safety related committee. Public safety. All right. So it's discussion of the new public safety related committee. So right here in the first paragraph there, where it was talking about the cadets program for residence repair, and then for the police academy, which they can enter at an age of 20 years old, right, 20?
19.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
they can enter the police academy at 20 years.
Yeah, so that was the correction we wanted to make. So Reagan went and talked to Chief Lunsford, and he said it was starting at 19, between 19 and 20, was that?
19.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And get sworn in at 20? Okay. So starting at 19, they can start anywhere between 19 and 20. Okay, can we change that from saying they can enter at the age of 20 to changing that they can enter between the ages of 19 and 20? Is that okay? Anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with that change in the minutes.
I second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, there was just a slight change, thank you. All right, so let's move on to new business. Discussion of the Ebony Fest, Juneteenth, 2026 in Ranlo. That's on item number 8. So, is Ms. White here? Well, we said she wasn't, Ms. Tasha White. She's not here. Okay, so can we, you guys propose we do not discuss this item at the moment or table it?
We can take it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to table that till next week.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of tabling, this
Wait.
agenda item
Wait a minute.
for the,
I think Charlie, do you have her information that she was going to discuss?
Yeah, you want me to just, I don't want to speak for Ms. White, but I can say she stopped by town hall and dropped off this. I know Commissioner, or Mayor Pro Tem Connor, forgive me, has been working with Ms. White, who normally runs the MFest Juneteenth Festival, and had discussed having that in Ranlo this year. I know she wanted to come and speak, so I won't speak for her. She's a phenomenal public speaker. It's great to hear her talk about it. I think it would be worth looking at, maybe, what's proposed, which is what you have in front of you, but I think my recommendation would be to wait for her to be able to speak in front of
So
her.
we need to table that.
Yeah, but just know, yeah, I think I would be my recommendation, but just know that there is one sheet in your packet.
Yeah, we got it.
yeah,
I'd like to table that the next month.
Okay. All right, all in favor of tabling this discussion item? Agenda item? Okay. All right, guys, let's move on to, agenda item number 9, discussion of RFP for website design and maintenance. All right, so, Charlie, do you want to go over that?
Yeah, I think Mr. Mayor, we should just take a half second, just kind of looking for a straw poll here. So I talked to Commissioner Hill, and we have some great ideas for the website. I know we talked about that a couple months ago about rehauling it and having a new layout, making it more useful, having an interactive calendar with events and working with the new committees. And what Commissioner Hill and I had come up with was just getting a straw poll from the board on going out and getting an RFP, or essentially a request for proposals, to bid out for website services. We have someone that works on the website now, but I know we just wanted to get a straw poll from the board to say, is the board interested in me reaching out to get essentially what would be proposals from companies to see if there's anybody else that the board would be interested in contracting with to do our website work.
Yeah.
What would be the difference in the, who we got now and who we might get?
How can I say this? We could get a larger firm. That's not necessarily just one person that may have different information on different platforms. Like if, for example, we wanted to just completely scratch the whole website that we have and go to a completely new, like there's a lot of, most towns and cities use like Civic Plus that has a very interactive kind of interface. With any change in that regard, I would want us to put an RFP out to make sure that we're not only getting a competitive bid or essentially proposal, but that it's transparent and the board gets to make a decision as a whole. It would just essentially be more services. It's a long-winded answer for more services. So is that the will of the board for me to draft that RFP and then we can put it in the April meeting to essentially bid out or to advertise and then give 30 days for companies to solicit their proposal? Fair?
Yeah, I'll also say that, since we are trying to draw more business to the town, it would be advantageous to us to go ahead and look at updating our website. I'm not sure if any of you have visited the website, but I think it needs an overhaul. I know it needs an overhaul. I'm a software engineer for 34 years, been doing websites myself. So, yes.
And that's what this would get us to. And just so you know, too, the RFP process is just us collecting proposals from companies. It does not contractually obligate us to any company until the board decides to award a contract to a proposal. So I'll go ahead and work on that, and then April will bring it back to the board.
No, I'm sorry, we need a motion on that? Okay, all right. All right, let's move on to item number 10. Resolution to establish new committee. Okay, so that new committee that we're bringing up here, let me see here, and I'm trying to.
It's the public safety committee.
Yeah, so the new public safety, we have new public safety related committee. So, give us a little insight on that one. Well, that's the one we're talking about with you calling it new public safety related committee, but, it's a little bit, the wording on that is a little bit, I'm not sure if that promotes what we're talking about as far as.
Subject to change.
Yeah. So we're talking about, what Chief Lunsford has in the cadet, bringing them in, training them as cadets to be into.
Well, not necessarily. Chief, do you wanna, so it started off when I had a meeting with Chief and with some of the new committees that I was starting. He was maybe interested in having one that assists the police department. We were bouncing around a lot of great ideas, but again, he doesn't have the manpower to kind of, put those ideas, like the ball rolling. And so, I'm like, okay, maybe we can get a committee. And so, Chief, you can talk about some of the great things that we.
So basically, it would be to help the police department plan some of our events, help find funding for those events. We do the National Night Out along with Faith and Blue Weekend, which is a 4-day event. That would help us, not only my police officers, but that would give us some resources to help us with those events. Also, there's some grants out there for, that are for, I'm gonna call them children because I'm older, but for children to go into law enforcement, and to help get those involved, to get this grant funding, to get more officers on the street.
Okay, I see what you're saying, so that's why it's called public safety related committee.
Yes.
We just couldn't think of a fun name like the other two awesome committees in the meantime, so that's why I wrote name subject.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, I think I got an understanding on why you call it that now. So, and maybe you could change it up a little bit later, but, we need to adopt that.
I'll make a motion to adopt and approve the new committee with policies for procedures.
Okay, all in favor?
Did you say both, Commissioner Moore? The adoption of the resolution and to approve the rules of procedure? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's items 10 and 11 are now completed. So last month we had to do the same thing where kind of like just procedurally we had to create a resolution to create it within our ordinance and then adopt the rules of how we go, those rules and procedures, and then that's when we went to appointing later. So it's very intentional, those 3 steps. So the next step for the board will be to appoint.
And you have the rules and procedures laid out here, so yes.
And I just want to let anyone know, there's a new committee, so if you would like to get involved, and 7 people on the committee, so if you are enthusiastic about helping plan events with the police department and finding funding and helping with our mentoring program that we're going to be starting with the teens, 19 to 20, those that are interested in law enforcement and want to be involved, I think that would be a great committee to serve on. That's my little shameless plug.
Okay, so yeah, very good. Let's move on to item number 12. Discussion of personal policy manual consultant updates. Personal policy manual consultant updates. Okay, so I was a little confused on this now. And you want anyone that wants to speak on this to come up?
No, sir, not necessarily. We'd like me to try to.
Yeah, give us a little more.
Yeah, happy to do it, Mr. Mayor. This is another one of Commissioner Hill's ideas that we come up with together and we want to bring to the board. In looking at our personnel policy manual, we know it's very outdated, it's pretty ancient. We've done some kind of rough updates over the past couple of years to just kind of get it to be a little bit to par, if you will. We know it still really needs like a whole, like kind of overall, and I know Commissioner Hill, well, previous board and I talked about a new evaluation process for staff, like a performance evaluation process. And we thought, hey, let's parlay this together and say, and this is the same thing as like the RFP a second ago. I just kind of want to get a straw poll from the board. It's about reaching out to a consultant and not necessarily like a private consultant. We work with the North Carolina League of Municipalities who offers this service and the Central Iowa Region Council of Governments that offer this service, to have somebody come in, take our personnel policy manual and say, take it, please clean it, fix it, make it better. And get us to a place where we're kind of working in 2026 instead of the old books, and then design and help create a staff performance evaluation process for us If that work can be done before June 30th, the end of our fiscal year, what we could do in theory is come back and say, and present that, so like with our new budget in July, the new fee schedule, we can also throw in the personnel policy manual, updated, and the performance evaluation. We can wrap that all into one kind of pretty little basket by the new beginning of the fiscal year. So if the board is interested in me pursuing that with the League of Municipalities of Central Carolina, I'll take just a couple thumbs up, kind of straw poll.
Yeah, let me add some to that. I've been a software engineering manager for Wells Fargo, GMF, and even Bank of America for well over 10 years. I told you I worked in the industry for a long time, 34 years. But at least over the time that I've managed, I've owned businesses, it's better to manage policies and procedures more than people. Because if you have a certain policy, you have certain procedures in place, when someone gets out of line with those procedures, it's not a policies, there's no discrepancy. You can't come back and say, hey, why can't I do this? Because it's against the policy. So to make it easy on the town manager, I'm all in favor, but I don't have a vote.
And we don't necessarily need a vote, I think, as long as the board just kind of says, yeah, that's something worth pursuing. I can get some more information together, then April will come bring you kind of some more concrete stuff on, this is how much it may cost, or here's what we can expect from that service.
And it does need to be updated.
Yeah, right. That would definitely be my recommendation. All right.
Does anybody else want to comment on that? For this?
That's great.
Mr. Moss? Okay. All right, let's move on to item number 13, concession stand usage policy discussion. Okay? We're gonna open this up for discussion, but first, before we get that discussion from the board, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Mr. Henson, do we have a policy in place right now?
No, sir. So really the only thing that we have as far as the use of any really of our parks is whatever park hour signs that we have posted on the outside of the building. And that's what's kind of started this discussion is, once again, Commissioner Hill and I were talking about, you know, we're both kind of wired in the same way where it's like, well, if there's not an SOP, a standard operating procedure, if there's not a process, if there's not a system, then what are we doing? Everything needs a system, everything needs a process, everything needs a policy. So that was kind of, we knew there was a need there where there's not really a policy. I know we spoke to Commissioner Morton, who's here a couple months ago, who had asked to use the concession stand, which we love. I think that's a great community asset, if you will, or amenity that we get. But when we kind of had more conversations around it, we thought, well, let's make sure it's fair to everyone as well, right? So if Commissioner Morton wanted to use the concession stand, if any other resident wanted to use the concession stand or had something going on, we thought, well, let's make sure it's fair for everybody, just like we enforce any policy that we have. It's fair for anybody in the town. So what this is creating that policy to say, okay, here's how, if anybody wants to use the concession stand in Ranlo, here's the process, policy, and procedure for how to use it, how it works, and all the kind of associated things. So that kind of closes that gap of, well, what if it's this, or what if it's that? There's a clear policy that should clear.
So we'll be managing those policies and procedures. So, do we need to vote on this item, or we just have the discussion? Anybody have anything you'd like to add to that? Or why we should or shouldn't have policies and procedures? What's your thoughts? Commissioner Moore?
I am all in favor of having policies in place because then we're not confused and no one is confused and everyone is on the same page, what should be happening and what should be done. I know that Charlie has kind of drafted up something, but I personally think that these should be addressed. So I think they should be a little bit more.
And I think too, that we need to be careful of who we let use the concession stand. I mean, just anybody off the street shouldn't be allowed to. And I think there ought to be a fee if it's a if it's a fundraiser or whatever, I think that there should be a fee. But that's just my thinking.
So we have listed on page 2 that there is a reservation fee, a security cleaning deposit fee. Though, I just put some numbers down. If the board wants to make it $1 million or free, it's the board's decision. We did have in there listed that nonprofit organizations may request a fee waiver. That's something that the board can consider as well. And then we have all the different things about the health department requirements. I mean, we could even, and I could talk to our attorney about this, there's probably a world where we could draft some sort of like hold harmless agreement or liability release waiver.
And that's in there. It says that we will do that.
Right.
Yeah, he does have that in the, your handouts that Jazz has. If you guys wanna look over this, and can we actually discuss this one as well? This is what I would like, I think that you have a lot of stuff here, but I would like for you to, draft something up. Maybe it's this.
It is,
Yeah, that's the policy.
that's the policy.
That's the whole policy.
All right. So what you said, he does have the fees and deposits on here. He has, health department, requirements, all right? Operation rules is listed, yeah, liabilities,
Mr.
indemnification.
Mayor, that is the one thing that's not in there. It just says
Okay.
that there will be a release of liability waiver, which I can draft that they'll have to sign before they use it.
Okay.
And I would advise the board that that's a good idea, because we've had conversations with the previous board about unclear about whether somebody's complying with the county code requirements and everything like that, so we need that for our liability purposes, so, and that is the one thing that is not in there, that I have to stare at it.
And we have the application in here, so it shows who the applicant is, what organization, and what that would have to go through town hall. I think we said 15 days before use. All that's in there. We just need to get legal to provide us a release.
I do know that if they cook, if whoever, there has to be a permit. But now if they just sell packaged products and drinks, there don't have to be a health permit.
And we're really putting that on us, that may not be the right word, I'm not a lawyer. We're putting we're empowering anybody who's using it when they go through the application process to say, you're in charge of getting the correct things. By signing this application, you understand that you have to go to Gaston County and get we're not gonna be the managers of the kitchen, right? Like we're making everybody, I'm not saying making it sound harsh, but we're encouraging, making really everybody get all of the correct permitting stuff before that happens. And if they don't, or if it finds out that it doesn't, that release waiver kind of clears us, and what we can do is then take away deposit or put that person or organization down as not being able to use that place again. So it sets us up like an individual.
I'll make a motion to adopt policy and it'll take effect after the
Liability rate.
I would like to increase the reservation fees to 25 and the security deposit to 50.
Me too.
I'll agree on that.
Increase it to 25 reservation fee?
And 50.
And that's for each use.
Yes,
I'll make a motion for that.
I second.
Okay,
So it's 25 and 50, is that correct?
all in favor? Okay, so 25 for the reservation fee, $50 for the security cleaning deposit.
And I do like the nonprofit organization. I like that. Maybe request free waivers. I like that.
I'm sorry, I think we already voted, but what was that again?
Oh, I'm just making a comment. I
Okay,
like that about.
gotcha. All right, okay, so we're gonna move on to, item number 14, presentation of the monthly financial report. Charlie Henson.
Happy to take it away, Mr. Mayor. You see this every single month. This doesn't require any action or vote. Thank you. I'm so bad at that. On the first page, you see all of our financial overviews. This is all of our accounts. I'm very proud that we keep track of every single penny that comes in and out of the town. You can see there, we've had a lot, the influx, if you will, of our general fund account balances because of obviously the ad valorem tax revenue that comes in this time of year. So we are sitting in a very healthy position. I think at this point, we've already collected 97.5-ish% of our ad valorem taxes. and we're close to, or no, it was 112-ish% of ad valorem taxes that we projected from revenue. We've collected a total of 97% of our entire expected revenue, so we're sitting in a good spot. You can see the interest, that was something that the previous board had put together to see how much interest our accounts are making in those capital management trust accounts. That's on the first page, and if you look at the second page, you'll see our monthly year-to-date report. This is our general operating budget. If you notice the admin item is higher, that is okay. That is because all of the move-related expenses moving out of the church and into the trailers have been coded in there because we didn't have that budgeted in July, but what you'll see next month, and I made the previous board, and if you were on the previous board, you remember aware that those costs were going to come out of there. We were just going to code it. It's just bookkeeping. You'll see a budget amendment next month, and that'll be back to normal. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Right, so you got 90.81% has been used of the budget so far, and it is, I guess we are 3/4
Yeah, so we're
of the way through the
66.49.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was what I just mentioned a second ago. So all of the moving associated costs have been coded to admin just internally bookkeeping wise, because we didn't have that project. We didn't know we were going to move again when we adopted the budget in July. So you'll see a budget amendment next month, and that'll make that number back to normal.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that, but what I was saying is that, so you get 3/4 and we 90, over, almost 91%. So we only gonna need, so 9% is gonna hold us out until June.
So when the budget amendment happens, that number is no longer going to be 90%.
Right.
Because the correction for all the moving costs will come out of that, and then the true administrative cost, which is probably right at that 66-ish%, is going to be reflected. It just hasn't been a budget amendment before the board yet, and you'll see that next month, and then that number won't be 90 anymore. So we're still in great shape. It's just kind of some internal bookkeeping stuff, and it kind of shows it, looking like in recreation, for example, it's 77%, even though we're 66% of the way through the year. That's because the vast majority of our fiscal year events are already over. We paid for the rides, we paid for the whatever it may be. So that's some of these things, and that's why I'm here to kind of tell the story of some of these numbers. Sometimes it can be just a tiny bit misleading. But I'm happy to answer any more questions.
More questions? Yeah, so the next time, we would love to see how you came up with those GL balances and things of that nature to come up with the 90% and why it's being taken back out. Okay.
And you'll have to
Yeah, so we'd love to get that detail. Okay.
No problem.
Are we off the naughty list?
With any luck, we will be. I can tell you that since the last, I'll explain it for everybody here who may not know that. The unit assistance list, which is overseen by the local government commission, the treasurer's office, 7-ish years ago, whatever it may have been, we got put on the UAL for the financial reasons. But at this point, we are so outstanding financially that I can't imagine we'll still be much. They've told us that hopefully this will be our last year. I think they wanted to see some repeat success, and then we had obviously a change in administration between the finance director and the manager. So I think they wanted to see some consistency, but like I've said a million times, a town our size normally has a 60% available fund balance. We went last year from 118% to 150%, so we are rocking.
So we have another year to be on our naughty list.
With any luck, by September, we'll know if we're off for this coming up fiscal year.
Okay.
And I'll obviously let you know if we do.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to item number 15, town manager's report.
Sure, Mr. Mayor, we'll go very fast because I've been doing a lot of talking tonight. In exciting news today, somebody from the League of Municipalities came to our office and awarded us a $4,500 check for a safety grant. So we were able to get a safety grant, which we're very excited about. So we've, that's really cool. We got a cool little picture with the check, so that's fun. And then don't forget to check out our events coming up. We got Shredded, we got the Easter egg hunt. I'm so excited for the committees because it's so hard for me to keep track of all these. So the Ranlo experience will kind of take over soon. Those first committee meetings, I think we scheduled for the 31st and the 1st, maybe 2nd of April. So those are coming up. I'll be in those meetings. And those will also be public meetings, so the agendas and everything. So if anybody wants to come to those, feel free. And I think that's it for me. Chiefs, police and fire, do y'all want to go ahead?
Assistant Chief Myers with the fire department. We did not have somebody here last month to give January's numbers, so I've got both January and February. January, we responded to 67 incidents. The biggest numbers were 24 EMS calls, 10 canceled in or out, 7 brush fires, 5 motor vehicle accidents, 2 gas leaks, and 3 building fires, as well as a bunch of other types of service calls. In February, we responded to 54 incidents, including 12 canceled in routes, 18 EMS calls, 5 motor vehicle accidents, 1 subject extricated, 3 building fires and 3 brush fires, as well as other service calls. Also, since the last time we spoke at the meeting, in preparation for the Carolina Thread Trail, we received 2 grants. 1 grant from Enbridge Gas for a side-by-side, one of their used side-by-sides, which is in the process of being outfitted with a skid unit, a pump and tank for off-road brush fires. And then we were awarded a grant through Firehouse Subs for another side-by-side UTV. So we have one that carries 3 people, one that carries 6. So when the Carolina Thread Trail goes in service, we'll be able to get hikers or injured people or whatever. Any questions?
Always great news when we get grants. That's okay.
So the Enbridge grant was one of their used side-by-sides. They send them to auction every so many years. So that one was just giving us a side-by-side directly. And the grant from Firehouse Subs was $18,173. So we've got both those at the station now. We're just waiting for the rest of the upfitting stuff, but.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing the, what is it called, checking the fire?
Smoke detectors.
Smoke detectors. Are you going to do like the event where you're?
We usually do a smoke detector canvas every year. We pick a different neighborhood every year to focus on, and then we go through that neighborhood. I'll have to talk to Chief Lewis on when we plan on doing that. And then, as always, if anybody needs smoke detector check or just wants anything looked through, we'll come out, just call the station, or you can call a non-emergency number for county communications, and we'll come out. And we have smoke detectors at the station and batteries as well.
Do you choose the neighborhoods, or can a neighborhood?
If there's, we historically, Commissioner Moore, maybe will help. Historically, we kind of rotated around.
Yeah, we start with one portion of the town, and then we rotate.
Yeah, we like,
then we start all over again.
One year we do the whole Mountain View neighborhood. The next year we'll do the more older part of Ranlo, and then the next year we'll do more of the Mill Village part of Ranlo. But we did get a grant a couple of years ago for smoke detectors, so we still have a couple hundred smoke detectors at the station as well as batteries, so we can do those anytime.
I like to ask a question.
Yeah.
May is Senior Adult Month,
Yeah.
and we plan something for them. Could you or the chief or somebody come out to that? Are we gonna have bingo?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
so,
Something.
yeah, what I'm seeing here, I think this is a great opportunity where the fire department could work with the Ranlo Resource Network chair from that committee and set stuff up, and the Ranlo experience for the bingo. Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
can.
my thing was, could you come out there and maybe talk to our senior adults about how important it is to have the smoke detector?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And maybe get names of the ones that don't have them to.
Absolutely. Yeah, just let us know time and date, and we'll make sure we
Okay.
represent and take care of it. Anybody else have a question?
I have a question. I've had some young people that are interested in becoming firefighters and would love to volunteer.
Yes, ma'am.
I've never, yeah.
Just stop by the station, to fill out an application. Once they fill out an application, we have an application committee, goes through, calls their references and stuff like that. And by law, we're required to do a background check, a federal background check and all that. Once that's done, we bring them up there in one business meeting. We have one a month. And then the following business meeting, we're voted on.
What's the age to start again?
So
Is it 16?
16 for junior firefighter.
So you all do have volunteers that can come in as young as 16 years old?
Yes, ma'am. I started at Harrisburg Fire Department. I started when I was 14. and have been a career fireman since I was 18, have been paid since I was 18.
16.
They're called junior?
Yeah, junior fireman.
Junior fireman all the way up till they graduate high school.
Yep.
And they have to have a guardian signature.
I think it's a C average.
They got to maintain at least a C average in school or they get suspended until they get that.
Do you all get a lot of young people to come in like that?
Not, we haven't recently.
Not like-
So we kind of get, we have some events at times that, where we go to high schools, like career days and stuff, and set up a recruitment booth and stuff like that, but here recently, we don't currently have any junior firefighters, but we're always open to it. So, it's definitely something,
They get to ride the truck and everything else.
they can
It's like going
go,
to a call, but it's got
we
to
cover
stay.
the cost for them to go start getting their certification classes. By the time I graduated high school, I was EMT and interior firefighter and everything, so that's all covered through the fire department.
And they can go to Gaston College on the, especially in the summertime when college runs, like early school in the summertime, when they're out of school, they can go get everything but like the live burn training until they get certified.
Everything except when you have to get 18.
When they turn 18, they get the live burn training and they're certified fireman.
That's
Or
really good
EMT.
to know. Is this information that you all, I said, if you don't ask, you don't know. You all don't,
We post stuff on Facebook, on our Facebook page, we don't have a website, but, we post stuff on our Facebook page and visit high school and stuff, but anybody, that may be interested, have them stop by or give us a call and we'll give them the information
I'm sure.
they need.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Chief Lunsford, you ready?
The police department responded to 698 events in the month of February. We issued 52 citations, we made 9 arrests. Our flock cameras had 202,693 vehicles passing. We got 6 hits off of those vehicles. The only call that I want to talk about is a car seat inspection. We sent one officer to get her certified for the child seat inspection, so we're doing them in-house now. I have one in class today, who will finish up. So we'll have one on both rotations. We have done one. We've got one scheduled for tomorrow, so we'll be posting on our Facebook and trying to start doing more of those for new parents. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief.
I do have one more. Had a meeting with Secret Service today, cyber crimes. We're trying to put together a training, and Charlie was there with us. They're gonna come out and talk to the seniors and some about the scams on the computers and phones and a lot more than I know. So be looking on our Facebook for us to be putting it out.
And they do a lot, yeah, so it's a federally funded program with the Secret Service, which was cool sitting down with Secret Service in the first place, selfishly. But they do a lot around like renting scams, like getting emails and things like that, and cybersecurity, they even go into like crypto stuff. So there's a task force that we're talking to join to get some of those resources, like Chief said, come talk to the seniors, come talk to anybody. So it's really cool, really
Good idea,
neat.
Chief.
One or two of my officers have been accepted for a task force officer position on that task force. So we'll be working through that, getting training and bringing a lot more training to the citizens. That's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. That's all for the manager's report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, next item on the list is, the mayor, comments from the mayor. Well, let's, first of all, we are getting a lot of progress, I feel like. It doesn't look like it. We are moving very well. Charlie and I had a chance to go down and meet with the Gaston Business Association, and let me tell you why that's important. Meeting today, we did at lunchtime, 12 o'clock, met with that group, and that group was talking about how they can help us in our efforts in bringing business into Ranlo, and also doing some feasibility studies if what we're looking to do is going to be feasible. Right, so they have professionals that can give us this, help us with our plan, making sure that we can put things in place. Like we're talking about bringing in more retail shops and grocery stores, things of that nature. They have somebody that can give us a feasibility study, and they can also help us with the trajectory or the planning of a 50-year goal. That's what Commissioner Hill brought up. So not just for us, but also for the next generation. So we're in good position for that. We got our sidewalks coming in, so we're in good position at that. I'm glad you brought that up, Drew. So we're in great position for getting those sidewalks. We're gonna be looking at getting more grant money, setting up a meeting. Haven't seen that schedule on the schedule yet, but setting up a meeting with our congressman, Mr. Moore. Congressman Moore, so hopefully we get that meeting set up pretty soon. And also, it's all about making connections with our current elected officials. So I urge all the board members to start speaking with them. I think some of us already have some relationships with our current senator, Ranlo. Hopefully we'll get to like each other. We ran against each other last year, but I'm sure we don't have any bad feelings toward each other. He's a good guy. I'm glad he won. But yeah, I think we're in good shape. Okay, so let's move on to item number 17, comments from the board.
Mr. Mayor, I got a couple things to bring up. I'd like to have Mr. Hanson come up with some numbers on the vehicle debt that we have already, and propose paying that debt off in this budget instead of having the recurring debt and paying interest to the bank that we don't need to pay them because they make enough money. And also in our budget retreat, Mr. Harper brought up purchasing 2 trucks. I like to purchase them out of the budget too, if it's feasible, if we have the money to do that out of this budget here, instead of financing and paying interest on vehicles. Just put it on the next month's agenda and have them come up with some numbers, see if it's feasible.
We can do that. May I make a comment? Commissioner? And Mr. Mayor, may I make a comment?
Go ahead.
So yeah, make sure that's noted, Madam Clerk. So that's something that we've done in the past couple of years, right, is when we come into the end of the fiscal year, we know we're sitting in a very healthy financial spot. What we've done kind of the past couple of years is if we know going right into the end of the fiscal year, like again, if we're in a healthy financial position, we'll take some of that money maybe that we had and commit it to some debt payoff before the end of the fiscal year, right? Because it's going to go to fund balance anyway. So kind of Commissioner Moore had spearheaded this idea a couple of years ago of, well, if we're sitting pretty and it's May and it's June, can we pay a vehicle off, can we pay 2 off, right? Because we're really doing is saving taxpayers money by not paying interest on what may be a 4 or 5 year loan. If we have the financial means and it's within the general operating budget, we're saving money over the long term. So that's kind of the idea. I'm happy to look into it.
Yeah,
bring some numbers.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. So you got, you owe on these, you still owe on the current vehicles?
Just some, yeah. Like last year, we paid off 2 vehicles before the end of the fiscal year. We don't have any payments on. We have some new police vehicles that we bought this past year. That's something that I'll come with numbers next time and give the board options.
What about the vehicles that Public Works use?
Yeah, I don't think we owe anything on Public Works vehicles, right?
I think all these paid off.
Yeah, we paid them all off. In the past 2 years, we've managed to pay off all the vehicles that we've bought.
I think we've got four patrol cars that we're paying on, and one we just got last year.
And we're,
And 2 years ago.
it's something I've kind of also done too, Mr. Mayor, just so you don't think we've had a chance to talk about this, is we kind of had this historical posture of, I'm gonna draw a graph in my head here, like the amount of money you can get for an asset and the amount of time you use it. There's kind of this line of depreciation where it's not, we're using it so much and it's costing way more to maintain it than we would have sold it, right? So like our kind of historic posture was, let's use this item, whether it be a chainsaw, a truck, or whatever, until it's just dead on the side of the road and we'll put a couple Band-Aids on it. But really, I've done this in previous organizations, is there's almost an exact point in its economic life where you can get the most out of that asset before it starts depreciating more than it would be worth to pay to fix it. So what we're kind of doing is taking this new posture of, because it really saves the taxpayer money, to say, okay, let's get rid of things more frequently when it's still at that peak of its economic life, if you will, before it depreciates, and then we can't get anything for it, and we're just throwing it or surplusing it, and then we have to go buy something brand new. We're kind of keeping new material in, we're keeping new assets in. It's good for the staff, it's good for services that we're providing, and we're selling things for worth more money and keeping new things. And so it's kind of a win all the way around, but just see that's my new posture.
And this also free up their capital outlay that's in their budgets, that they can purchase something else that they need. Not what they want, we want stuff they need, A lot of people want a lot of stuff, or purchase the equipment and that they need in the department that they may felt that they couldn't ask for in this budget because they already asked for this much. This frees up some of that money for them in next year's budget.
Maybe you all can help me with this, correct me where I'm wrong. Our budget is looking good, everything's healthy, we've been able to get the things that we feel like we need opposed to what we want. At what point do we say, okay, if our citizens already have issues with our high water bill, we have an issue with that. Can we not look at, for example, our utility bill and say, well, you know what? Maybe we don't need to be charging our citizens $12 a month for a trash can. Why can't we give our citizens a break financially? You know what I'm saying? In the process of all this other stuff and say, let's cut some of their costs. We know it's going up. That's just, okay.
That's a board decision, and that's what the budget workshops are for, is to come up with ideas like that. It's the board's will. Just remember too, just a quick distinction, because I don't disagree with writing it. But the general fund and all the revenues that we're talking about, like public works, police, all those things are completely separate and statutorily have to be separate from water and sewer monies. They cannot be intermingled. We could come in $100 million in the surplus of the general fund, and we couldn't put a penny into lowering water and sewer rates. Just remember.
No, I mean, like, 'cause I noticed on, I have it, like, so far with our utilities, we're doing pretty good. You know, like, on the paperwork, like with our, let's say sanitation, is that the trash cans? Is that all of that?
That's the paying salaries for trash service, it could be a number of things, that's it.
Okay, so currently we're at 61%, right? I know when I looked at my bill, I don't know about your household, I pay $12 a month for a trash can. I don't get it cleaned every month, I don't get it cleaned every month, it's the same trash can that goes out every month, and I have to pay $12 for it.
And they've been paid for, I believe.
What can we give back? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what can we, because this is tax dollars that our citizens pay. What breaks are we giving our citizens with our healthy budget? What are we doing for our citizens besides a hot dog at the festival, which is really good? You know what I'm saying? What breaks are we giving to our citizens? Okay, that's all.
Since you brought that up, my wife works out of the mill over here, because that's business. 2 trash cans cost her $40 a month. And 2 trash cans to me, I think it's $22 a month for a house. Why is she being charged more when there's a whole bunch of businesses in there?
Does each one of them have to pay that?
I do not know. I have no idea. I know before Ralph died, he had dumpsters out there, you know, that they can use. Since before people moved in there, they're renting their own dumpsters, or own their own dumpsters, just have them empty. But, she's being charged $40 for 2 trash cans, but I'm paying $22 for the same size. And
I know there are commercial rates and residential rates, I know that.
I think they told us it was because of business. It was a business of the
Commercial. And the board will vote every July on water sewer rates and the entire fee schedule. So that's every fee, every trash, every stormwater, all of those things the board will get to decide that before July 1st. So if you're interested in changing it, this is the time to do it.
Didn't we talk a little bit Tuesday night about trying to find somewhere to lower something for our residents?
Yes.
Tuesday night we did.
We asked the town manager, Charlie Henson, to look into that, do some research on what we can do. He seemed to think that it wasn't much that we could do, but he's doing research.
We could work something out. I'm not saying that there's not an answer. I'm just saying anybody that's in a purchase system, we're all in the same boat across the whole state. But that's not to say we can't, come up with something creative, like our Mayor Pro Tem Connor talked about trash. I mean, the board gets, I don't set water rates, I don't set the fee schedule, the board does all of those things. I make recommendations based on what we've seen historically from revenue and expenditure side. My job is just to inform you and give you all the ammunition and information you need to make smart decisions. It's the board's decision at the end of the day to change any and all things.
So the budget, when we vote on the budget, that's something we can look at?
So the fee schedule, which is a 2-page piece of paper, it says all the different tiers for our water rates, stormwater, tap fees, permits, zoning, you name it.
all of that gets adopted with a new annual general operating budget that we'll adopt in July. So when we go into this stuff, like at these budget workshops or at these budget hearings, one of the priorities we talked on Tuesday could be, I'm interested in saving money. We gotta find out together how to do that, whether it be through this fee or through that fee, or we're gonna lower this. That's what the board can then decide on. And then my job will not to be like the bearer of bad news, but my job is to give you well-informed kind of business advice, if you will, right? That's why I have the rate study done every year to say, if we don't change water rates, as I said on Tuesday, that's my recommendation, never my vote, but I wish we could never, I hate recommending raising water and sewer rates. I hate that for our residents. But I'm in this position to say, if we don't do that, and Two Rivers goes up 10%, 5 and 5 on water for the next 3 years, over a cumulative total of deficit, we'll be at a running $800,000 deficit, and by that point, the state will come and take over. So I'm here to give you good advice, and that's my kind of role in this.
Right, and we already know, just gonna let everybody know that the 5%, total 10% is gonna occur. So.
But it's not because something we've done,
Right.
it's something.
Two rivers.
So we get our water through Two Rivers, so that is coming. Yeah, I don't know what about it.
Can I, Randy, get a question?
Could you, state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, John, 1805 Allegheny Drive. You mentioned the vehicle purchases that trying to pay our bill down on vehicle purchases. How often do we turn over vehicles that we have?
What do you turn over?
By mileage, by year? Years?
Right now, we basically haven't gotten rid of anything. This is the new posture I was talking about of surplusing earlier in the economic life, we have just started doing that. So
isn't it better to just lease the vehicles with much cheaper than financing?
yeah, we talked about that too. We run into some, and I don't want to talk too long, so tell me when to stop. One thing that we've run into with leasing is, especially in our public works, or really in police too, is that they're very specific use vehicles. So police vehicles have to be pursuit rated, and have to have a certain equipment. You know this, you've been off for a long time. Public works, there's no enterprise fleet management lease system that has, a double axle dump truck or whatever, right? And if we bang them up, that's kind of we've looked into it. We've had 4 or 5 meetings, whatever CJ might look for, with different lease groups, and it's still an option we're exploring. But we just haven't found one that's the right fit yet, because we don't want to waste money, we're not going to waste money.
Yeah, I would advise just to get some more information, just to call Charlie about that. But guys, I'm gonna ask for an adjournment. Want to make a motion to adjourn?
I said it.
All right. All in favor?